A few moments from now, you're about to hear Prosecutor Nicholas McClelland be asked by a member of the media after the arrest of Richard Allen whether or not anybody else was involved in the homicides of Abigail Williams and Liberty German on February 13th, 2017. But before I click play on this video, I digress, because I want to make a point first, so bear with me. Last week, I posted a video discussing, not accusing anyone, but simply discussing how on his Facebook page, Tony Kline, who is the father of now incarcerated for CSAM, Kegan Kline, changed his location on his Facebook page to now lives in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, obviously, anybody can change their location to anywhere on their page, and at no point in this video or in that video did I accuse anybody of a crime, nor have I ever accused him of being involved in this crime, nor will I in this video. And I want to make that abundantly clear. Why, you ask? Because after posting that video last week, I started to receive strange comments on the video, emails and other things from anonymous accounts stating that Mr. Kline had attorneys, etc., 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 and intimidating comments, almost like they were trying to spook me away from even discussing this aspect of the case. At that point, I told people that I was considering shutting my page down, simply because even though I'm an award-winning Illinois Press Association journalist who has racked up numerous awards over the past 27 years, I don't really take kindly, whether it's strangers, no matter who it is, trying to intimidate me into silence. Well, I'm back, and I'm here to tell you today I'm not going to be intimidated into silence, because I have some things, damn it, that I'd like to say. And I'm going to borrow this video and clips from here from the Captain Howdy's page, only to make a point. Let's go back to that video here, where Prosecutor Nick McClelland, right after the arrest of Richard Allen, is asked specifically if anyone else is involved in this case.
Assume there's any other individuals involved in this case.
We haven't closed the door on the investigation, and so that's why we keep the tip line and the tip email open. And so we're not presuming anything at this point, but we're going to continue to take tips, continue to take any information anybody has, and as we've done with all the information we've gathered, we're going to look at that and examine that and see where it leads us.
I mean, I just don't understand how many people could be involved with something like this, and if there really was more, how the actual hell did they manage to cover it up for over 5 years?
This is a great question, especially in light of the fact that after this, when he went into court, Prosecutor McClelland stated in front of a judge, quote, "We think there are multiple actors involved in this." So let's skip ahead here a little bit further, because the captain discusses something really, really interesting here. And here you go.
Video and audio of the killer. Then they gave the public this sketch of the killer. Then, in 2019, they released this sketch of the killer, which looks nothing like the first sketch. Then, in December of 2021, police put out a YouTube video at 10 o'clock at night on a Monday asking for information about the online catfishing profile Anthony Shots. But Kegan Kline, who had made the Anthony Shots account, was actually in jail at the time for CSAM, and he'd already actually confessed to making the account. Then, the murder sheet put out the transcript of Kegan Kline.
And here's that transcript. And it talks about Kegan Kline talking to Abby and Libby and being the last ones to talk to them, or last one to talk to them, right before they were murdered. I literally have no clue. I don't remember talking to her, really. I don't even know who she really was until after I saw that on the news, and I was like, oh wow, that name. Like I remembered that name, is what Kline said, Kegan Kline. And the investigator asks, okay, and here's, I mean, again, that's a lie too, because we know that for a fact that when you were in Vegas, that you were on your device searching about the Delphi investigation.
Being told that he was communicating with Liberty German, and he was actually the last person to talk to her while she was alive, and
then it says, okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier, so that would have been 8 o'clock in the morning at your house. And then it's redacted, okay, where you and your dad lived, Tony Kline, 2 separate devices. See the numbers here, how they're the same? Log in, log out, log in, log out. One device. Log in, log out, all within minutes of each other, to the same Anthony Shots Snapchat account. What 2 devices were these? This is a fact.
He had apparently tried to destroy the one phone that communicated with her and had also used it to look up things like how long does D.
And then while he was in Vegas, investigators say, let me ask you, why would you, after you failed your polygraph test, knowing about the Delphi investigation, come home, delete your Snapchat and your Instagram, which you used to communicate with Libby, and then you searched how long does DNA last? Why would you do that? And he answers, I have no clue. I don't know. Probably because they DNA tested me? Really? I find that interesting. So, you're out in Vegas and you're preoccupied with all of that? Is that because you knew, or he knew that he was the last one that talked to them? Furthermore, in 2022, I spoke with a source that came to me as a journalist and told me he was incarcerated with Kegan Kline. He told me, and I have documented this, and it's been sent to police, and police have conducted actual interviews with that jailhouse source that was incarcerated with Kegan Kline, who stated that Kegan Kline told him while in jail, again, these aren't my allegations, while in jail with him, that him and his father were out at or near the crime scene that day on February 13th in a red Jeep, and that Kline waited in the Jeep while his father went and tended to something. Again, I am not accusing Tony Kline of anything or involvement in this crime. It very well may be that Kegan Kline is completely lying and is just using his dad as an alibi because he knew that he was logging into the accounts that day, the Anthony Shots accounts, on multiple devices, and needed somebody to be a patsy for him, or maybe he knew he was the last one that talked to Abby and Libby and that the heat was on him, whether or not he had anything to do with it, and just kind of threw his father under the bus. Again, this isn't for me to decide. This is for investigators to decide. So, having said that, again, we'll go here to the 8:23 mark, and here's Prosecutor McClellan again one more time, when he's about to be asked whether or not Kegan Kline was involved in this crime, or any of the Klines.
I'm sorry? Again, that gets into the evidence we have of the investigation, and I know from everybody it's frustrating. I know everybody, not only reporters, but the family, everybody wants to know more information. I understand it's frustrating, but my goal is to maintain the integrity of this case. Hold on just a minute. We're not going to comment on that right now as part of the investigation. Again, we just encourage everybody to continue to call in tips if they have them about anybody, and we'll examine those tips.
I would encourage people to do the same thing as well. And again, I'm not going to let people intimidate me into silence for doing good investigative journalism that has led to actual investigations and interviews in this case. Because at the end of the day, that's the least that the family deserves, is the truth, and people trying to get to the truth for them. If you have any information, please email tips to Abby and Libby Tip at cacoshrf.com, as this is still an active and open investigation. God bless you, everyone.